We are allowed to step out with people who reasonably believe.
Yeah, dumbass people who don't know the law. Do what the Constitution says. Your sergeant ain't gonna cover your get sued, dude.
Officer pulled over this man because he made a turn back without a turn signal and also claimed that we got a call about you, that you were selling stuff here, which is a suspicious activity. So now you have to identify yourself. But the man asked, is it illegal to sell? The officer said no, but the officer still demanded his ID. When the man asked him to articulate a specific crime, the officer failed to do so, giving only vague and unclear answers.
Protection and yours? What's your name, officer? Please identify yourself.
McLeod from the Clewiston Police Department.
And you, sir?
Officer Garza, Clewiston Police Department.
And what am I being pulled over for?
Well, two reasons. One, you made a turn back there without a turn signal. Two, we had a call about you trying to sell something at a store, and at two different stores at that, not just one. So a suspicious activity call. And we had to make out with you to see who you are and what you're doing.
Got you. Got you.
So can I have your license, please?
So what crime is that?
Well, there wasn't a crime committed because we don't know if the items are stolen or not.
Do you have suspicion that I committed a crime? Reasonable, articulable suspicion, either one of you, that I committed a crime, was about to commit a crime, was in the process of committing a crime.
10-4, are there any stipulations?
Absolutely not. Except that you abide by the law.
I am abiding by the
No,
law.
you're not. You're asking me for my ID illegally.
He conducted a traffic stop.
That's not how that
illegal.
works.
That is how,
No, no crime has been committed.
when you
There's
commit
no
a
reasonable,
traffic
articulable
infraction-
suspicion. Excuse me.
When you commit a traffic
suspicion?
infraction,
There's no
Yes, of
reasonable,
course.
articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed. That a crime has been committed.
It was going to be committed. How do we know the stuff you have is not stolen? We got no way to prove it. No way.
not
you
how
can
that
prove
works.
It's not. No way I can prove it.
Please get your supervisor here,
Sure.
because that's
Well,
not how this
technically it's
works. Well, then she should know better. She should know better, and so should you, Mr. Garza.
We are allowed to step out with people who reasonably believe.
Yeah, dumbass people who don't know the law.
That doesn't have to be dumb or smart.
If I
I'm
have
telling
not
you.
been suspected of committing a crime with reasonable, articulable suspicion,
Two people
and-
have called saying you in this vehicle are trying to sell them items that they don't know are stolen, we don't know are stolen.
then there's no crime.
Can you tell me that it's not stolen?
I already told you that.
I didn't ask. So how have you told me?
Because you said that
I
you
said
got a phone
possible
call,
items.
and I asked you if that was
Not a
illegal,
phone
and you
call.
said no.
Called over the radio that's you.
Here. Here's my paperwork right there. Nothing illegal.
Was that so hard?
No. But you can't just get people's ID for nothing, Mr. Garza.
It's not for nothing. A
It
suspicious
is. It
person-
is.
Look,
There's
if
policy
there
and
is-
procedure,
hold
and
on,
there's
and there is.
constitutional law
If somebody's
that you
standing
swore
here-
an oath to, my friend.
Hold on. If somebody's standing here and they're just standing here with no kids and they're a grown person just sitting there, that's a suspicious person.
You know, I just got a call about some officers that we had to watch out for here that were breaking the law and the constitutional people's constitutional rights.
I can assure you that's not us.
You
But
sure
look,
it's not you?
Not me. But look,
I have suspicion to believe it's
hold
you.
on. You gonna let me finish what I'm saying so you have an understanding?
How you doing, boss?
There's a supervisor right there if you want
How
to
you
speak
doing,
to him.
supervisor? We're just getting an understanding of constitutional law here. You know, no big deal. He said he pulled me over because he got a phone call that, you know, we were selling stuff. I asked him if that's illegal. He said, no, that's not illegal, right? That's where we were at in the conversation. He asked for my ID, so I asked him again, what did we do that was illegal? For me to give you my ID, did we have any reasonable, articulable suspicion that a crime has been committed? He said no. We got a phone call. Two people said that items were trying to be sold. That's not a crime. Not here, not in Texas, not in, anywhere. It's not a crime.
My understanding is you were pulled over for a traffic offense.
That's not what I was pulled over for. Mr. Garza pulled me over. This woman pulled through here after. There was no illegal turn. That right there is a turnaround. You don't have to put your blinker on at that turnaround right there.
To make
All right. So have you identified yourself, correct?
I told him who I was right there.
All right.
It's not stolen stuff. I'm not trying to give him a hard time, but you guys can't just pull people over and say, oh, we got a phone call. Somebody said you were selling stuff. Let me see your ID. That's not how this works. I respect the law. You guys got to respect it too. You swore an oath to it.
Okay. All right. Hold on for there. Okay. Look, my name is Sergeant Nieves, badge number 0464. All right.
You know your shit.
Clewiston Police Department. Yes. Look, we got a call at the Ace Hardware parking lot person just wanted to remain anonymous, saying that, hey, somebody was trying to sell a stereo in the parking lot, and that's it. They didn't request contact, nothing along those lines, all right? Look, he conducted a traffic stop. He was just trying to identify you guys. Everything's good. That's all we're trying to do. Buddy.
Key word, try to identify.
That's all. Just try.
But that's not how that works.
Look, we're here, attempting to identify. That's all we're trying to do, all right?
Your name again?
Sergeant Tito Nieves. All righty, sir.
Be safe. Thank
Have a good
you.
one, okay?
And we can sell here. It's not illegal.
It's not illegal.
Especially if I got my sales tax license, correct?
If you are a business conducting business within the city, you need a tax business receipt.
Got all that.
We don't have
Alrighty.
that knowledge.
Thank you. But you can't receive that knowledge illegally.
But we can
okay?
ask you. just
Okay,
like you
and I can
provided.
refuse.
Yes, you can, but we still need to figure out what you're doing somewhere. So until we figure
You
that
could
out,
try to figure it out.
until we figure that out, you are deemed a suspicious person. Do you understand?
Yeah, but being a suspicious person is not somebody that has been deemed reasonable, articulable suspicion of committing a crime, about to commit a crime, in the process of committing a crime, would give you the only viable and reason to ask for my ID. Period. There's no exceptions at all.
So the traffic stop means nothing.
That wasn't a traffic stop.
So you made.
You specifically told me, and you are being recorded in my truck too. You specifically told me when I asked you why I was being pulled over, you
Okay,
specifically
so when
stated
you turn-
that you got a phone call
Hold on.
about suspicious activity.
I'm telling you two
When
things
she
that
pulled
happened,
up,
the reason.
when she pulled up afterwards,
Hold on.
because she came
You really don't
from
like
she
other
came
people
from
talk
this
to you.
way.
How am I
Well,
supposed to-
I'm
how am I
teaching
supposed to
you.
articulate?
How are you supposed to learn if you don't listen?
What do you mean? How are you supposed to learn if you don't listen?
I already know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's the problem with closed-minded people.
That's why I already know what I'm doing.
Listen.
That's why he left. That's why you're gonna leave, and that's why she left without getting my fucking ID. You see what I'm saying?
Well, I'm still conducting a traffic stop, so I do need your ID.
There's no traffic stop. For what? There's no legal traffic
When you
stop.
turn, do you not have to signal which way you're going?
On that turnaround right there, you do not have to signal.
says
Absolutely not, because it's not a left turn.
What is it?
I'm turning, it's a turnaround. That's what that's made for. There's no stop sign there.
There's a stop sign right there.
That's not where I turned around at. I turned around further up.
So you did a U.
I didn't turn around right here.
Oh, all right.
Stop trying to dig, dude. That's not how this is gonna work, dude.
Hey, I'm doing what my sergeant says. Here you are, sir.
Do what the Constitution says.
10-4.
Your sergeant ain't gonna cover your ass when you get sued, dude.
Under the law, a citizen is not obligated to provide identification unless there is reasonable suspicion that a crime has been, is being, or is about to be committed. In this case, the man was not committing any crime. He was simply running his business and even showed proper paperwork to prove it. The officers initially claimed he might be selling something illegally, yet when asked if selling was a crime, they admitted it wasn't. They then shifted the excuse, suggesting the items might be stolen without any proof. Despite having no legal basis, they continued demanding ID. Even when the sergeant arrived and the man calmly explained that he had a legal receipt and had done nothing wrong, the first officer still refused to back off. Once the officers realized they couldn't justify the stop based on his business, they redirected the focus to a supposed traffic violation. They accused him of failing to stop at a stop sign. But the man explained he turned further up the road where there was no sign. Instead of admitting their mistake, they quietly walked away because they had no case. From beginning to end, the officers attempted to justify their actions through vague suspicion, ignored clear evidence of legality, and violated the man's constitutional rights. What should have been a routine interaction turned into targeted harassment, and it all ended in a walk of shame.